So guys, we are going for the S tier. Actually the mapping already is. As you can see, we are flying through maps. Now with the build you can turn off your brain on maps, and with a little effort you can clear everything. Pretty easy, cheap and simple. I know I'm a little bit late, but I figured out yesterday everything, and I want to thank everyone in the previous video, the nice comments. I will answer every one of you, but it was a little bit busy a few days. On the bossing part, we are missing a lot of crucial big updates, so it's not one shot and we need to work on the mana. But as you can see, you can kill the tier 2 pinnacle bosses in one time stop. Millions of damage, so it's pretty good. So first, as usual, I would like to ask you to subscribe and like the video and comment. Helps a lot. And today evening I will stream, and I hope my latency will be fine and we can stream. So go and follow my quick, I will be there. So why I call it Invincible, you could ask? Well, the reason is that it's really hard to die, because with the temporal chains, as we going through the map, we slow them down like hell of a lot, and we have really high DPS. So most of the monsters can't attack, actually. There are a few ground effects that can mess you up, but it's pretty rare. And with the 4k shield and 1.5k life and the big recoup, it's really hard to die, especially because we are using the essence recoup as well, like 30% of lightning damage taken recoup this life, or the fire damage and the cold damage. And this is actually nothing, this number could be so much bigger, but this is a cheap build, okay? So let's see what's changed. Actually, you need to get lightning warp to 20,000 or 18. This is kind of the breakpoint, and I'm talking about the flat damage on it, so it's not like after the condition stuffs on the 3 and the others. So we're now using efficiency, pinpoint critical, magnified area, deliberation and zenith. This is actually huge because on maps you are always full on mana. So this is the mapping setup, the bossing is different. And I can feel the movement speed penalty with deliberation. When you use lightning warp you are stationary, so it really doesn't matter the movement speed penalty. And you always try to look for more damage, so not the increased ones, because the more damage gives you a lot, the increased ones are trash. So on custom crit we have ball lighting, multi-shot, projectile speed and the 2 energy support gems. Lightning ball, you need to get the lowest one, lowest level one, because you don't want to have big mana cost on it. Projectile speed, multi-shot, mobility, rapid casting. You need this because first at the beginning of the map, and when you don't proc custom crit you can do it manually, so you have a target to use lightning warp. Of course we still have arcane, but now it's less needed, but it's still, you get a pretty high damage with it, and sometimes you get stuck, and when you're stuck you just do a few arc and it's proc custom crit, of course, and it's a huge damage going through on everyone. So it's pretty nice with projectile speed, inevitable critical, unleash, elemental focus and rapid casting. So after that we have the spirit skills, affinity, lightning mastery and clarity. As this is actually bugs, clarity, this won't cost you 20 spirit. We have the mana remnants, because it's just on maps with this your mana is always full, you don't need to do anything. And we have mysticism in it, because our energy shield is almost full on every time, so we have plus 40% increased damage. Blasphemy with elemental weakness and temporal chains, of course. And we have the soul offering setup, because when you execute the 2 skeletal warrior, it's like 130% increase spell damage, so it's a lot. These are the super gems. Other than that we have time freeze, of course, second wind, cooldown, rapid casting, duration, magnified area. I don't know if this is work, I just put that in. And sigil of power on the second hand, the two-handed stuff for more spell damage again, mostly on bosses. Sigil of power, of course you can use time freeze when the situation is kind of stinky, but don't really need to. And the skeletons are also on bosses. So these are the gems. So the mapping feels insane, and if it's have enough monsters in it, you can go through teleporting the whole map. It actually feels better than on the Blood Mage in the previous season, because with Blood Mage you need to deal damage all the time to get your life back, but here you can just simply stand and they damage you and you get your life back, so it's a much better experience. But there is times when there are walls, of course, and you miss your combo, but like here, I'm standing between the abyssal monsters, most dangerous ones, and I'm alive, I'm fine. So we are kinda invincible. So let's see the items. There's a little change because, as I show you in the first clip, we have these recoup stuff from essences, right? So you have these essences and you can craft your build with this and you can get 30% lightning damage taken, recouped, or fire, cold. This is pretty big actually. This was a big turning point on the build when I got these. So the helmet is new. We need the plus energy shield. Actually, we want high energy shield on everything to get this 4k point. But the other stuff are the same. Try to get as high damage ones as you can. They are pretty expensive, of course, if you want more than 3 lighting spells, or if you want mana efficiency on it. Rings, cost speed, right res, writing damage. We still use the Sacrosanctum, it's a must have in the build. Try to get an amulet like this, recoup life, cost speed, spirit, spell skills. We will use the Omen Scepter because of the malice, it's pretty good on bosses with the critical weakness. So get the recoup and get resist and cost speed, that's kinda it. So let's see the passive tree, that's the biggest change from the previous video. First, I won't provide a max roll in the first few days, because I'm not partnered with max roll and everybody who clicks in my video just go to the max roll link and then close my vid. And I have 0 subscribers on YouTube or in any platform, and I'm in Eastern Europe, so it pays me nothing. So at least I want to grow my channel, and this is only possible if people watch my video more than 1 minute, then it will maybe grow more. So no max rolling in the first 3 or 4 days. On the Ascendancy we have the recoup, of course, Sands of Time, this is useless, and Time Freeze. They should swap Time Freeze with Temporal Rift, then we could have the Apex of the Moment and it would be S+ tier, but it is what it is. So we go with the energy shield nodes on start, get the recoup, get the mana efficiency, get more energy shield. We have the crit nodes here and here. This is the first jewel. It was pretty cheap when I bought it first. Recoup speed, mana recovery, recoup as life and a little bit of damage. Then you get these energy shield nodes. We have a really high energy shield helmet, so this is pretty nice. And get these alignment threshold stuff, because if you don't have this, it's like you getting frozen in every second. So even with the charm, it doesn't matter. With one shot, the charm broke, and then a second you are frozen. And also here, this is pretty big, because with this, the alignment threshold is pretty high on us. See? This is... I think actually we don't need to use these charms, but anyway. So then, let's talk the simple nodes first. So we are going through here, get our double curse node to use elemental and temporal chain, another energy shield, more critical hit chance. Try to get the jewels, critical damage, recoup life, area of effect. We have the invocated efficiency because of the mana, and of course more damage for the trigger spells. Going down here with critical hit chance, same jewel as before, as I said. We get these because we want to lower the spirit cost on the custom crit. Get more recoup life. These are crit damage, and you can see that weapon swap, weapon set 1, the color. Mostly the damage nodes are weapon set 1s, here, here, here. The projectile speed also, because we want the second hand when we use the Sigil of Power and the Skeletal. we want them more area and more skill effect duration. It's really important because it gives you a lot of seconds while the sigil will stand and the buff on you will stays. So these are the green ones, you can see it clearly. And the last bit is here. Same jewel and crit damage. So this is kinda it. We need this much of int, dex, and strength. So this is it. For the passive 3 you can copy this without any max roll if you watch the video, I am 100% sure. I will open up the lighting warp here because people always ask, do we need 100%? No, we don't need 100% crit chance on it, it's useless. The 66 is already enough. Try to get the highest crit damage you can because this matters more. After 50% it doesn't really matter because we always have free hit. So in free hit one of them will be a critical hit. And if you have the highest damage you have, then the custom crit will proc. If you have high enough damage, if you don't, then it won't. So this is more important. So on the bossing part we need to swap a few things around, so I try to explain it to you. So first, skeletals are not working with weapon swap. So it's not a solution to have it on your second hand and you execute them. When you swap weapons back, the buff is gone. So it's pretty annoying. So on bosses, we don't need temporal chain. There is a bug here because you can ruin your Bessamy skill, then you can't activate it ever again. So I think I have like a few Bessamy ruined. That doesn't work anymore. So first deactivate it, get out your temporal chain. You can now swap your skeletals and reactivate it. This is the way for you to get your skeletals, and other than that you don't need zenith. Put concentrated effect in area, and on custom crit we use 2 more lighting warps and efficiency. Take out the projectile speed. On lightning ball also you need to slow down your ball lighting. And this is it. You can now kill them, put this down, time stop, and then you can start. So let's see this in action. So after the time stop, you can see that we have a little bit of mana problem. That's why we stop a little. But later we won't have that, so I'm not worried. We need a few stuff to fix this. And this is a 4 million life boss and dies pretty quickly, dies in one time stop. So we'll be back at the area and you can kill every boss in one time stop. Let's see it on Zest. This is the tier 2 Zest for the 100 Bleach Splinter cost. The combo is the same and the problem is the same. When we run out of mana we stop. But as I said, this won't stay with us later. This build is for the mid-game and you can clear fully stacked maps, tier 15 maps, without zero problem, and with the map bosses also. So really strong. And the cost, when I bought the stuff, of course as the days goes by, the stuff are sadly more expensive, of course, but when I bought these things, it cost around 6 or 7 divine orbs. Now it's maybe more, of course, if you want to build this, but it was really cheap, and I think has one of the best progression in the game. So I think this is it for today. I hope you like this video, and please subscribe and tell your opinion and how you like it. Thank you guys. Bye bye.